Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtedar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to provide a short brief on the Turkish elections. It's very clear that President Recep Erdogan is about to win again in Turkey, and he will be president of Turkey again for another 5 years until 2028. At the moment, he's leading by 53 to 47% when I last checked, and the AKP and Erdogan have already declared that they have won the election, and it's quite obvious that they are heading to a victory in the runoff elections in Turkey. This is an important victory for Turkey, for Erdogan, for AKP, and I want to make a few points about it. And I hope you find them interesting and thoughtful. But before I go ahead and provide you with a briefing on the Turkish elections, I would like you to subscribe to Khanversations if you've not already done so. Ring the bell icon so you get notifications of new videos, like the video, and do share it with your social network, with your friends and others who you think might benefit from this video. It appears that Erdogan is going to be president again. Congratulations to him, congratulations to his party, and congratulations to Turkey for once again having a rather intense elections, fair and free elections. While people have complained about various aspects of the campaign, all parties are accepting the elections are fair. So congratulations in this day and age where even in the United States, elections are contested, and often people say that the elections are rigged. It is good to hear that elections, no one is claiming that elections in Turkey have really been rigged or not. So congratulations to everybody. This election is very important for Turkey because this is the 100th year of the establishment of modern Turkey, the Turkish Republic as we know it after the end of the Ottoman Empire. That was basically established in October 1923, and now we are on the verge of reaching 100 years of Turkey, and so this is going to be a turning point in Turkey's history. If you were visiting Turkey and talking to people who were Erdogan fans and those who were associated with the AKP party, say 10 years ago, this year was very important for them because they felt that at that time the country was consumed by a neo-Ottomanism. Turkish foreign policy was described as essentially new Ottoman foreign policy designed to extend Turkish foreign policy influence and Turkish influence over all the regions which formerly belonged to the Ottoman Empire. So there was this imperial hubris in the rhetoric in Turkey. And there was this assumption that 2023 might be the year where a form of neo-Ottoman state might be resurrected. And there were even jokes about how President Erdogan might decide to declare himself as Caliph of Turkey. So there was all of that enthusiasm and jingoism about Turkish rise. In the first 10 years of AKP's rule saw Turkish economy take off. Turkish GDP tripled in that 10 years. Turkey became a very important country in Europe as well as on the global stage. And so there was a lot of optimism. But in the last 2-3 years, heading into the current election, Turkey's economy has suffered a severe blow. Inflation at the moment is around 40%, 43%. It was 80% a few months ago. The growth of Turkish economy has also slowed down. Until 2021, Turkey was growing at a rate of about 11%, and now it is just 5.5% for the last year. So there is a steep fall in the growth of Turkish economy. But the biggest and the most severest economic indicator has been the severe drop in the value of Turkish lira vis-a-vis the dollar as well as euro that has hurt Turkey. Usually when one's currency drops, it benefits exports. But unfortunately, in the last 1 year, we have seen that neither exports have risen, but on the contrary, imports are risen. People are importing gold and other material from overseas, and so there's a double whammy because these imports cost a lot more now. The Turkish lira's value has depreciated significantly. So the Turkish economy hasn't been doing well for the last 2-3 years. There was an earthquake, massive. Some people say more than 50,000 people died as a result of it, and it's a big and huge economic blow to the country. So the enthusiasm in jingoism is a bit on a lower level, and so while Erdogan managed to win this election, perhaps the toughest election of his life, given the fact that the opposition had got their act together, they had unified and presented a unified opposition to Erdogan, even though the AKP's vote share has significantly declined to about 35-36% of the overall vote. With the help of the Nationalist Party, both AKP and Erdogan have managed to remain in the leadership position. In order to understand what this election outcome means going forward, we have to understand why Turkey is an important country. A lot of viewers from South Asia who watch Khanversations have asked me why they need to care about the Turkish elections. Turkey is a very important country. It is one of the top 20 economies in the world. In spite of the fact that it is having a bad run currently, it still has a 1.03 trillion economy. And when adjusted for purchasing power, it is about 3.8 trillion dollar economy. Its per capita income is $12,000 in nominal terms, and when adjusted for purchasing power, it becomes $40,000. So Turkey is an upper income, middle range economy, and is important. It is also part of NATO. It is, in fact, the second biggest army in NATO after the United States. So it's a very powerful country in Europe. It is also part of the BRICS. It's trying to join the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It is part of G20. So Turkey is an important country, plus its geographic location at the cusp of Asia and Europe is of great strategic importance. It was so during the Cold War in particular. US nuclear weapons were based in Turkey for a while. I think they still are. And Turkey is also a very influential state in the Middle East, in the Caucasus, in Eastern Europe, has good relations with Russia and also China. So in that sense, Turkey is a very important country, both in terms of the global economy as well as global geopolitics. In fact, if you look at the two major wars that have fought in Eurasia in the last few years, one in between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and now the other one between Russia and Ukraine, Turkey is playing an important role in both those wars. In Azerbaijan, Turkish drones and Turkish technology played a significant role in basically ensuring that Azerbaijan came out dominant in that battle. And even in this war between Russia and Ukraine, Turkey has played both a military role and a diplomatic role. Turkey played a significant part in ensuring that wheat, etc., agricultural products from Ukraine and Russia are exported to the rest of the world, particularly the developing world and the global south, which was hit very hard because of the shortages of fertilizers, fuel, and food as a result of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So Turkey played an important role in brokering that deal. But Turkey also played a military role where its drones essentially helped Ukraine fend off the initial invasions targeting Kiev. So in that sense, Turkey has demonstrated in the past few years that it's a critical country when it comes to geopolitics as well as global economy. This election was very interesting because it was not just an ordinary election. It was also an ideological election. After 100 years, where is Turkey? Turkey started as a very radically secular country in 1923, marginalized Islam, and in the last 20 years, especially with the rise of Erdogan and AKP, one of the struggles has been the public role of Islam and Islamic values, Turkish culture. So in that sense, you could say this was a vote not just about Erdogan, but was also a vote on the extent to which Islam would play a role in Turkish domestic and its foreign policy. So in that sense, you could argue that this election was a defeat for radical secularism and a victory for moderate Islamism. Turkey, while advocating Islamic values, is not like, say, Iran or Saudi Arabia. It still believes in some form of separation of church and state, and also has a parliament, a presidential form of government. So this election was also about ideology, but it was also about the future identity of Turkey, now called Turkey. What is Turkey going to become? Is it going to remain the same Turkey that Kemal Ataturk envisioned and the Kemalist ideology, or will it be a different kind of Turkey, a conservative Turkey where religious values do impact domestic and international policy going forward? So that battle still continues, even though commentators from Turkey themselves say that in the past 4 or 5 years, Turkish foreign policy, which was initially motivated by neo-Ottomanism, is now more or less a pragmatic foreign policy pursuing national interests, like any other country. Turkey is now normalizing its relations with Israel, with Egypt. It was always in good stead with Qatar, but it is basically mending its relations with many of the Middle Eastern countries. I expect it to improve its relations with India, even though in India the current perception is that no matter what we do, how friendly we are with Turkey, Turkey is essentially hostile to India, especially on the Kashmir issue. So Turkey is currently seen with great suspicion, both by Delhi or the Ministry of External Affairs in India and by people who shape opinion. But it is an interesting turning point, because the perception was that if Erdogan lost, then Turkey would once again come back to what it used to be originally in the 1990s, a good partner in NATO, a friend of Europe, wanting to become part of Europe, and distant from Russia and China. But under Erdogan, Turkey is essentially using the same policy as a multi-vector foreign policy. It is part of NATO, but it is very critical of Western hegemony. It does not always play ball with Europe, and its opposition to the membership of Sweden in NATO clearly indicates that Turkey is not a pushover. Some of the key decisions that the West wants will have to be negotiated with Turkey. And then its dependence. Russia is the biggest exporter to Turkey, not just among tourism in every which way. It's the biggest trading partner with Russia, not just energy. So it's building its relations with China as well as with Russia. So this multi-vector foreign policy that Erdogan has adopted is something that is a source of irritation in Washington and other European capitals, because there is a high transaction cost when dealing with Turkey. One of the critical issues that agitated the election was the Syrian refugee issue, and I suppose that debate will subside now that Erdogan has won the elections. But going forward, I think it is quite possible that Erdogan's priorities will be more to ensure the Turkish economy stabilizes and comes back to what it was, high growth economy with emphasis on exports and a lot of investments in domestic infrastructure. So those were the pillars of the Turkish economy from 2000 and 2012, when it was phenomenally booming. So I hope that Turkey will come back to a more pragmatic, a more national interest focused, not ideology focused foreign policy, and concentrate on essentially strengthening state capabilities and mending its fences with the West. The Russia's invasion of Ukraine has not only disrupted the international order, but has temporarily unified the West. And this is not the time for any middle level, mid-range power to essentially try to alter or upend Western hegemony when it is more united than before. So I hope that you found this brief discussion of Turkey's election and its policies going forward interesting? And if so, do subscribe to Khanversations, ring the bell icon, like the video, and make sure that you share it with your network of friends and colleagues. Thank you very much. This is Muqtedar Khan. Until next time.